James, you can't be sitting in this chair all day. It's painful to watch. Come on, James, let's go for a walk. I can't believe you didn't notice how tall the grass in the garden is, James. You used to love cutting the grass. James, please, do something, anything. These are the increasingly frustrated words of James's wife. James has advanced Alzheimer's, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't want to do anything. He just sits all day. Watching someone do nothing, day after day, week after week, is exhausting in a way that's almost impossible to explain. You have tried everything. You keep trying. Surely, if I push a little harder, he might get into that mood again, you think. But he doesn't. His apathy makes you feel all sorts of emotions. You're cross. How can he sit there all day? You're tired, fed up watching him do nothing. And every day, your heart breaks. How is it possible that your once active husband has become a potted plant? If you're new to my channel, I'm Zita, dementia educator, author, and 13 years in the trenches. I know the world of dementia from the inside, and I'm here to help. This is hard, no doubt. But when you understand what's actually happening in the brain, you might finally stop fighting it the wrong way. Because right now, as things are, you are probably making this symptom worse without knowing it. Because yes, apathy is a symptom of dementia. When you look at your husband, you might be thinking, James is depressed. But when you look at him carefully, you realize he isn't. He isn't unhappy. He is not sad. He just doesn't care. Sometimes he even looks kind of happy or content. But why does this happen? How can a once active person running a business, raising a family, having friends, end up like a pot plant, sitting in an armchair, staring into the air, doing absolutely nothing? This is a very valid question, so let's dig into what's actually happening. Like all dementia symptoms, apathy is also caused by changes in the brain, physical changes. Sitting right at the front of the brain, the frontal lobe, there is a switch. I call it the let's go switch. It can be on or off like any switch. So when it's on, we get going. We move through the day. We get up, drive a car, get things done. But when the let's go switch is off, we don't feel like doing anything. Our energy levels are down. We just want to be left alone and rest. And after the rest, the switch comes back on automatically. And then we get going again. That's the normal rhythm of activity in life. Now, in dementia, this switch starts to fail because of the damage in the brain. Those changes manifest in the strange behavior of doing nothing. Your husband is not choosing to do nothing. He can't choose otherwise because the let's go switch is stuck in off position and it just doesn't come on. But why does this strange phenomenon happen? Why does the switch get stuck in off position? To answer this question, let's meet the guy called dopamine. We hear about him every day, the reward chemical linked to addiction and doom scrolling. But what does dopamine have to do with apathy in dementia? Well, Mother Nature didn't originally give us this chemical to get drunk or scroll mindlessly all day. No. She gave it so we could get food. And to get food, we needed to move. Not to the fridge 5 steps from us, no. Actually get up and walk, run, climb, lie on the floor, hide for days. That kind of movement. And that's dopamine, the guy in charge of switching the let's go switch on and keeping it on until the task is done. But that's not all. The movement had to feel good. Nobody can do something that doesn't feel good for a long period of time. So dopamine, along with other chemicals, makes sure that movement feels good, because no movement in those old evolutionary days meant no food, and no food meant death. So when our ancestors found the food, the same dopamine that got them going rewarded them with a feeling of satisfaction. That was good, they thought after killing a big animal. We need to feel this more often. And the next day, they got going again to find food, to stay alive. And that's how we humans operate. We need dopamine to get things started and then to feel the reward. By now, you might suspect that dementia has something to do with dopamine. It really does. Dementia disrupts the way dopamine works. So the let's go switch doesn't get turned on, and your husband doesn't even feel he should start. He loses interest in getting started, in doing, in everything. Doing something no longer feels good. It doesn't feel bad either, it just feels nothing. This isn't weakness, this is neuroscience. This is the disease. That's why no matter how hard you try, you can't explain apathy away. You can't verbally convince a declining brain to make more dopamine. So now you might be thinking, what do I actually do about it? It drives me crazy watching him in that chair all day. That's a very valid concern. Unfortunately, I have no good news like try harder and it will get better. There is no such thing in dementia. By now, you know what doesn't work.
Come on, James, do something. You can't be sitting in that chair all day, doing nothing.
I don't want to.
Telling him to get up, do something, get frustrated. But because you so badly want him to do something, you keep trying anyway. The asking, the negotiating, reminding him how much he used to love it, only to find nothing works. So stop putting energy into those futile things. Instead, turn his let's go switch on for him. Help him start the task. Not verbally, not saying, oh, come on, James, let's do something. Visually, physically. If you want him to start eating, for example, put the bread in front of him. Place the butter beside it. Give his declining brain visual cues. Maybe he gets the memo and starts the task. As the illness progresses, you will need to do more. You might need to place the knife in his hand, put the bread in the other hand, and actually begin the motion with his hand. You become the switch. And later in the disease, there will be a point where nothing works, where you do all of these things and nothing happens. At this stage, the only response is radical acceptance. You can't be the dopamine for someone else's brain. So here are the things to take with you from this video. People with dementia change their behavior not because they decide to, but because the chemical and biological changes in the brain do that. And that's the reason you can't talk them out of a behavior or into another one. New information doesn't hold. They have no tools to hold it. The worst thing you can do is keep pushing. That will only lead to frustration. And the best thing you can do is to understand the disease and work with what they have left, not try to change what they have already lost. Because you can't bring that back by talking to them, convincing them, or trying to teach them. So you have to let go of the idea of wanting them to be the way they used to be before the disease. That's just not going to happen. It's critical to understand the disease so you can care for your loved one without being a secondary victim to the disease. That's why I wrote the Dementia Care Survival Bundle, for exactly that. Real scenarios, real responses, everything you need to know about dementia, how it works, every symptom, what to do, what to say, and to keep your sanity in the process. Link is below. If this video helped, don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot more life-saving information on the way. Bye for now.